This artwork is in no particular order. This is the back cover of the third book, along with these little pictures here as well. This is the gateway and this is the lunar lander vehicle. This is the cover of the second book, First Kid in Space. And this is the cover of the third book, First Kid on the Moon. So I wanted to have this cover done and organised and finished so that I can use it like in advertising for like the back page, that kind of thing. And this is from the back cover of the second book as well. You can see I made a little mistake here, a wobbly line, but I'll carry on. I'll fix that in Photoshop. Oh, and this is the most exciting part, I think. This is Glenn here, who's our hero, who's going off in the middle of the night, not just onto any old little jet, but this is the King's jet. How cool is that? And he goes off to meet the president, a lady president. This was all done a long time before Biden stepped down. So I wonder whether I sort of made some kind of a prediction here. And there he is, meeting everybody, having to think bubble. So I knew that he's thinking back to things that happened in the first book. So I knew I could do a sort of a montage of illustrations from the first book and kind of put them in this think bubble. Meeting the press, selfie. Well, they're not the press actually. No, these are his fans who all want selfies. So you know, it's all about social media these days. The kids know that. It would be odd to have a story without YouTube influencers and selfies and social media in it and things. This is CJ, Morning Star, or Chenxing. She's back in China meeting the president. There's a great big poster of her meeting the president there. This is Glenn going through his training, medical tests and stuff. Medical tests, psychological tests. Again, this is based on BBC Breakfast Show, where Glenn goes to be interviewed all about his upcoming space flight. This is the director of the space agency. This is the director of the China Space Agency. And they just somehow seem to be doing almost exactly the same thing at exactly the same time. You know, this mirror thing going on between the space agency and the China Space Agency. This is Glenn trying on a spacesuit. I had to do quite a lot of research into spacesuits, how you get into them, how you get out of them, all that kind of thing. And this is their walkout, saying goodbye to the press and going off to the launch pad. And oh no, I think I've got him going out to the wrong rocket. No, hang on, let me put that there a second. This is Glenn again, president, and just chilling out. CJ meeting her fans. This is Glenn meeting the press. CJ, she's ready to go off into space, thinking about stuff. This is Glenn's capsule coming back to Earth. Oh, these are the psychological tests. What do you see in there? Butterflies and spiders. That's what everybody sees, isn't it? This is Thomas 12, the ninja, who's getting Glenn all fixed in his space capsule. Again, that's his capsule going off and stuff. And this is CJ up in her capsule. And this is Glenn having his breakfast on the King's plane. And these are Glenn's co-astronauts. This is the secret sign, Gemini. It's like a hashtag. And again, that's Glenn. These are ones that didn't make it. And yeah, more illustrations. This is Glenn going zooming round and round and round and round in the space, the thingamajig, gravity. Yeah, well, what do you call it? Anyway, it goes round and round. Makes him feel very, very sick. And as I was going through the final artwork and reading the text, I realised the text said he had an oxygen mask on and wires plugged into his brain. So I had to do these extra illustrations so I've done that and then sort of fixed it over the top in Photoshop, and these will be other corrections here as well. This is them being interviewed on various TV stations, and these are the rockets waiting to launch. Now, yeah, I just had a little moment then thinking had a moment there thinking I'd got him going out to the wrong rocket. Oh no. And of course I'd obviously changed my mind what the rocket looked like in the meantime. So what I've done over here is I've done this little version here, and I photoshopped that one onto there. Whew, got me worried for a moment there. So this is the Space Agency rocket ready to launch, and this is the China rocket. I think it's based, I can't remember, is it Long March 10? I can't remember. Anyway, anomaly. Oh dear, that's not a good word, is it? So this is them launching. This is Glenn. First time he's trying on his suit. He has to wear a diaper. We call it a nappy here in the UK. And he says they leave him there and say, you got to sit there until you use it. He has to learn to let go. And here they are. This is on the crew bridge going over to the rocket. So I've just finished printing out the galley proofs of the final book in the trilogy, First Kid on the Moon. And you can maybe see great big empty spaces in the text. And that's there for me to start working out the illustrations. I've got the illustrations in my head. As I'm going through laying out the book, I'm thinking, leaving a space here, and I'm reading, thinking, I'd like to do that illustration, I'll leave that space, and then I have to work it out so that it all fits in right through to the last. It's a bit of a mind-blowing operation doing that, but I've completed that part, and now it's time to start working out the illustrations before I do the final illustrations. So the second book, First Kid in Space, is now at the printers. I'll let you know more about that very soon. I'm not going to do a trilogy again. It seems so obvious. I had this blinding moment sort of 2 or 3 years ago when it's just literally a vision appeared in front of me, and I could see book 1, book 2, book 3, and it was so obvious that one led into the other, and it should be a trilogy. And off I went. Many of you know there have been sort of family upsets and things along the way. And quite honestly, a year ago, almost to the day, I was asked to help out a friend of mine. We were talking about being authors, and he's being very successful at the moment and striding forward. And I was interviewing him, he was interviewing me, talking about being authors. And I said, I think, I'm done, I'm finished. And he said, what, you've only just done the first book of your trilogy. I said, I don't think I can finish it. I just really didn't think I had it in me to sort of start and get going again. But slowly, surely, I kind of forced myself to write the next 2 stories. So that was a big stage. And then I kind of put them away and forgot about them. I thought, well, I'll illustrate them at some point. And then eventually I thought, oh, come on, do it. And I got the stories out and thought, oh, yeah, no, I quite like this. I sort of bit of a pat on the back. I thought I'd done quite well with the writing. So as you see, I've finished the artwork for the second book. It's all laid out. It's gone off to the printers, as I say. As a self-published author, doing a trilogy is really hard work because, I've often said it all comes down to the marketing, really, in the end. Even as I started the marketing for the first book, before it got launched, I thought, oh, this is all wrong. Initially, I was going to do it as a Kickstarter, which is like a private audience, which is all very well, but you're not telling the world, really, about it. And you really want to have this sort of world launch. And so I thought, well, I've got that wrong for one thing. But the next thing is that you launch that first book and you kind of put all this energy into marketing afterwards when you really want to be writing the next one. So possibly the thing to do with the trilogy is to get the whole thing written and illustrated and ready for print before you actually release the first book, so that you can run the whole thing through. But in the end, I feel maybe the thing is, from a marketing sales point of view, is to have a package of the 3 books with, a badge and posters and extras and stuff like that to go with it. So it's a bundle, and I think people quite like bundles and special offers and things like that. So that's where I am at the moment. I'm sorry I haven't been on here for some time. It's just this has been all consuming for me. We're also trying to sell our house. We're trying to move. I've become a grandfather. All sorts of things have been going on. There's been an awful lot been going on in my life the last couple of years. Yeah, hopefully we'll start moving forward. And I feel once I've got this third book done, I will hopefully have such a sense of achievement that I've sort of pulled myself out of this sort of slough of despond and can really start going forward. I did a couple of library visits recently, which was sort of getting myself back into that thing. I was apprehensive, but very pleased at the end of it that I'd done it. I've agreed to do some more library sessions in half term, which is sort of short holiday, mid-term holiday here in the UK, so that'll be about October in the West Midlands, around West Bromwich, Wolverhamptonish way. And I've got lots of other plans for once this trilogy is out of my head. You may remember I did a video recently about how I'd fixed my website. It's a whole new thing to me, the website that worked, and I'm kind of enjoying sort of working that out at the moment, and I got great plans for that too. I'll let you know more about them in future. Thanks for watching, thanks for staying with me, and if you've not seen me before and you want to know more, make sure you subscribe to the Shoo Rayner drawing channel, and in the meantime keep doing what you do, and I'll see you next time. You take care now, bye bye.